know if there was one reason why, I left to start Maverick. It was just something in me, just that DIY, that find a way or make one kind of mentality of, if someone else can do it, I can do it. My name is Steve Alexander, and I'm the Chief Experiential Officer at Maverick. Growing up, my parents, they were DIY. We were a DIY family. My dad was our plumber, our carpenter, our mechanic. He just wanted to learn everything he possibly could and jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing, right? To talk about my first job after college, I really should go back to my internships. Nothing locally, just everywhere, and I didn't really think twice about it, right? How I was gonna get there, how I was gonna move there. I applied to some in Georgia, some in LA, one in New York, and I was really passionate about music at the time and film and TV and such. And again, didn't think twice, kind of, leap before you look kind of thing. So I took it, I worked, 3 jobs that summer, trying to afford to save up as much money as I possibly could. Had no idea how much money it would take to live in New York City. Found a place online in Midtown, which is one of the most expensive places to live in the city. Moved in with 3 strangers that I didn't know, and moved back, finished college, and talked my brother into starting a business with me. And that was my first job after college. So I didn't work for somebody else right away. We started a record label. And who were we to start a record label? That was my only music industry experience, right? And we had no experience running a business, producing music. I just loved music so much, and again, that DIY mentality of who cares if I don't have the experience, right? There aren't record labels in Orlando to get, a job with, so just start your own. And we went out on our first tour, and we get to the first show. We booked this small tour up the East Coast. It was gonna be 2 or 3 weeks long. And borrowed my mom's minivan that we grew up riding around in. It was a green minivan with a pink squiggly stripe on the side of it. Rented a U-Haul trailer, put all the gear in there, and took it on tour. Got to the first stop in Georgia, played a show, Columbus, Georgia, and the singer lost his voice. Again, no plan, right? No long-term plan or strategy, just going for it. Coincidentally enough, the Warped Tour was in town. So we said, well, what do we do? Do we just go home? Do we pack it in? They're like, no, let's just go for it. Let's just figure it out. Maybe Sean, the singer, maybe he'll get his voice back. I don't know if we heard a noise or what, but some of us woke up, sleeping in the van, probably about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we see this caravan of vans with trailers and tour buses, and we're like, whoa, these are all the artists coming in for the Warped Tour. So we just pulled in line with those guys, and we followed them in. They put up fence around us, and we were parked with the artists. So we're like, what do we do? What do we do? Do we tell somebody? And they're like, no, just go with it, right? We get out of the van. Because we looked the part, we were in a van with the trailer full of music equipment, so was everybody else. Guys with walkie-talkies walk over, and we're like, we're busted. We're busted for sure. They say, how many artists and how many crew? We have 5 artists and 1 crew. Great, here's your credentials. So yes, we snuck into the Warped Tour, and I'm not sure what the statutes of limitations are on this, but I'm telling my secrets here. After that, I got a real job. I went and worked for an audiovisual company in the events world, right? The company moved me out to Dallas to work that job out there too. Eventually they moved me back to Orlando. That's where I met my wife. And then I don't know why I left that company, to be honest, thinking back. I guess it just wasn't quite for me. I just felt like what we were doing at the time just wasn't big enough, wasn't cool enough, and it just wasn't the right long-term fit for me. So, but it was a great job. My wife and I just had our first kid. We just built a house. We just bought new cars. Life was good. I could have stuck it out, but I one day had the crazy idea. Said to my wife, I said, I think I can do this on my own. I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly, but I wanna do more. I wanna leave my job and start a company. And she didn't think twice about it. And it was the craziest thing I probably have ever said to her at that point. And she fully supported me in it and said, okay, let's do this. So I quit my job and started Maverick the next day. A few years ago, I had this thought popped into my head about, my parents, and Maverick is kind of like the the marketing version of like what my dad did growing up. He did a little of this, a little of that, and you know, it's hard to put us in a box. We do experiential, digital experiential, but you know, we make things, right? We make things, and sometimes we're dealing with injection molding and plastic, and sometimes we're dealing with lines of code and software and mobile apps and you know, AV equipment. You know, it's all over the place, but the goal is to make. And the only way we got there is wearing a lot of hats and learning everything we possibly could and just going for it, right? Being DIY.